What's up, everybody? This is Scratch, and I got a video here for you. We're going to take a look at what happens with a 1 gig internet connection on fiber when you try to use your Xbox with it. Does it improve it? And a whole bunch of other questions. So if you can see right over here over my shoulder, this is my connection right now. This is a standard connection. I tested that on speedtest.net, and so we're going to see how that compares to what I actually get connecting to Xbox Live. And then we'll go to the faster speeds. But first, let's just set a benchmark and see what we get. So we're going to go to detailed network statistics in our settings on the Xbox, and it takes a second, so we'll just let that go. Okay, so you can see that my download speed is right around 120 and my upload speed is 26. That's pretty good considering at my ISP that pay for 100 by 20. So the latency hitting Xbox Live right here on this particular connection here at my house is 53 milliseconds. So what does that mean in terms of downloading a game? Okay, so right up here above my head is Assassin's Creed Origins. So we're going to download that, but first let's just click on it here, and I'm going to say install, and I am going to start a timer, and we will see how long this takes in the queue. There it goes. It's leveling off, so it seems as though I'm getting about 89, 99, 100, so we'll see how long this takes. I have the timer running over here, so I'll know when it's finished exactly how quickly we were able to get this. And then I have to delete it and download it on a gig connection. So looks like it's leveling off. So we're getting about 120, so it's getting my full download, and it's going pretty quick. I already have a gig done, and we are only in, how long? This is a minute in, so in 1 minute I have about a gig done. So it would stand to reason it would take about 42 to 45 minutes to get the whole thing. We will find out if that is the case, and I promise I won't make you sit here the whole time. So let's fast forward to the future and see what happened. Okay, and it looks like we're just about finishing up. The timer right now is at 53 minutes and 40 seconds. It looks like it took us just a little bit longer than whatever the file size was downloading at with our download speeds, what they are in this particular test. But now let's jump up to a gig and see how that changes. Will I be able to download it in 40 seconds? It would stand to reason that that's how it should take, but that's also not how the internet works, so we'll talk about that in a minute, but let's find out what it does first and we'll go from there. Okay, so now I'm set to a gig down. So that is right over here over my shoulder. This is what I'm getting directly off of my ISP server. What's up, Sniffles? Before, going out to the internet. So that is a full gig download. So let's take a look and see what Xbox Live will allow me to connect to them at. We'll do that now. Okay, so as you can see here, connecting to Xbox Live, my latency is 55 milliseconds. So that obviously goes up because I'm going further through the internet, so it takes a little bit longer, but still it's milliseconds. And my download speed is 627 with an upload speed of 100. So the upload speed, which doesn't matter in this case, is about what I'm supposed to get, but I'm a little bit, not quite over half of what I should be getting with a gig connection, but that's still insanely high for Xbox to allow me to connect to them. So let's find out what it does with a download. Alright, so right here I have Assassin's Creed Origins. Again, I had to delete it. But let's click on this again, and we will click install, and I'll start the timer right now, and we'll see what it does. So let's jump over here again, and we'll see that I'm connecting. Now remember, before it kind of jumped all over the place, so we'll let it level off here for a second, and we'll find out what it's doing. I'm just a couple of seconds into this. Let's see, what are we at? Just 20 seconds or so, 25 seconds into this, and we're already at a gig. So this should go considerably faster than it did before. So this is impressive. It looks like they're allowing us to download the game at right around 265. It seems to bounce in around there. So that's a pretty good connection. That's pretty solid. It's about a quarter of my bandwidth that I'm capable of. So as Microsoft allows higher connections to their servers, that could go up, obviously, but 258 is pretty good. So we'll see how long this takes, and then we will talk about it and compare it to the questions that I asked in my community tab on my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, now is a chance to do that and participate in these videos. It's actually kind of fun, I think, anyways. Maybe you don't. Hopefully you do. But let's just wait for this to finish and see how long it takes. It should be a lot faster. But it wasn't 40 seconds, was it? Okay, so it looks like that took about 28 minutes. We're at like 27:57, something like that. So it took about 28 minutes to get that We did run at about 238, somewhere in there. So it looks like about a quarter of the bandwidth that you would be paying for at a gig. Xbox is allowing you to use a quarter of that to connect to their server. So we'll talk a little bit about what all that means, but that's actually pretty fast.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Those are the results. I was actually kind of impressed with them. I do think it works out pretty good. So I'm going to answer a couple of questions that I think people might have, or some subjects that might get brought up based on these results. So I'll try to just answer them now. Basically, I have a gig service. You saw the speed test, but when I try to connect to Xbox Live, it capped me out at 250. That is because Xbox caps you out at connecting to them, apparently at 250. Does that mean that you shouldn't get a gig service? Not really, because the extra bandwidth that I had left over from my gig connection could be used to watch Netflix, upload to YouTube, connect to something else. That's just a one-to-one connection between me and a website, in this case Xbox. All websites do this. They all cap you. No matter how fast of an internet you buy, it is up to the people that you are connecting to agree to how fast that you will connect to them. Most of us just don't know it because it's not something that you've probably really ever paid attention to before. But this is basically what keeps them from crashing and having too many people connect to them, is to kind of limit it and put it in kind of a sweet spot to where you know, they don't crash and they don't have to pay outrageous amounts of bandwidth charges to whoever their web hosting service is. So to have Microsoft at 250 or to have Xbox at 250, I thought that was pretty high. We seem to connect pretty good with the test to Xbox Live. I was pretty impressed with that as well. So overall, do I think a gigabit service connection is worth it? It could be, depending on the price. I know some of them are pretty cheap, so depending on what you pay for it, but you could probably drop yourself down to maybe 500 or something like that, depending on how many people you have in your house connecting to it, since you do all share this connection, and whether or not you're one of those people that leaves your Wi-Fi wide open with no password on it. If you do, stop doing that. Get someone over to your house to help you to secure that. It's not about people stealing anything from you. It's about them using your internet and then it doesn't work and it's slow. So secure your Wi-Fi, please. Anyways, on my community page over on YouTube, I have the community tab. If you haven't checked that out yet, now's a good time to go over and do that. You can just go to the home page, which is always linked everywhere. I mean, you're here, I guess, if you're watching this. But if you go over there and you'll see where it says home, videos, playlists, channels, about, all that, there's a community tab in there now where I'm posing questions and talking and interacting with all of you, which I think is really cool. It's something I've not had a chance to do directly on YouTube before. So I asked, how do you connect to the internet, and comment on what your internet speed is, and I left a link for speedtest.net. We got the results in here, so let's just see what they are. So 19% of you who responded to this are connected with fiber, so that's really cool. So this directly relates to 19% of the people who at least took that poll, maybe who will watch this. I hope you do. Cable, 67%. So cable might not be capable of getting gig service without fiber, but with cable modems you can get pretty high. So 67% of you also have that, so this is going to relate there as well. Only 4% of you had DSL, which is considerably slower technology. Mobile hotspot, which can be good or bad, I guess. That's kind of all over the place. And then other is 4%, which I'm assuming other means you either don't know how you connect, or you're one of the people stealing it from your unsecured neighbor. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I'll flash a couple up here of what everybody has here. So thanks to everybody for participating in that, and I will see you guys in the next video.